So, seriously. I mean, yes, so much seriously. Yes, how long is this going to go on? This arc is already the longest arc in the entire One Piece manga, and it's nowhere near finished yet. We still have over 2 years, and given the recent tragedy that happens, people are even more afraid now more than they ever have before. And granted, I wasn't a fan of that tragedy that recently happened. What I mean is, the manga author that recently passed away, I wasn't a fan of his. I mean, his art was great, but I wasn't a fan of the story because Berserk was, for me, a very depressing one, and it was never finished. It should just have been finished. But then again, the circumstances on that happened was just pure and simple tragic, so therefore it could never be finished. So may he rest in peace. And now people, as always have been, yes as me, are very scared that this will also happen in One Piece. Because right now the pacing is so horrendously slow that I'm actually begging Oda to please just speed this up. This is getting annoying. So yes, it's me, the angry anime fan, the despair reviewer, although I tend to mostly review it in zero. This time I will dive into One Piece chapter 1014, even though I didn't want to, because this is not a good chapter for me. So either way, the chapter starts with the fact that Kaido taunts Luffy as he falls down the ocean. Yes, he does fall indeed into the ocean. We even hear a freaking splash! Oh yeah, I didn't warn you, did I? Well, I thought the title would have been pretty obvious, but turn down your volumes, okay? Because I might scream more this time. It seems that in the end, even though Luffy just recently gained the Conqueror's Haki, it seems that he ran out of Haki, or more like he just didn't have enough technique on it. It is just so freaking annoying! Why is it that the heroes are always the ones getting burned out? Let the villains for once get burned out already! They are the villains! They're supposed to lose. The biggest strange of this all is the fact that as Kaido sees Luffy falls into the ocean, he suddenly says something along the line of, "Seems like you couldn't be Joy Boy either." And now are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? How the hell does Kaido know about all that stuff? I know he has an interest in the Void Century, but he hasn't read Oden's journal. He shouldn't know about Joy Boy, but does this answer the question on why he occupied Wano? Because he knew whoever Joy Boy is would come there one day? Oh, just give us his flashback already and give us these damn answers! I'm so tired of not getting any. And then he gets contacted by Bai Wang and he's gonna tell everybody what happens. Elsewhere, it seems like Momonosuke has finished reading the journal and also saying that he cannot afford to die, but then he hears a powerful voice, and we, of course, do not find it all. The only thing that is actually positive about this chapter, and this is actually ironic coming from me, given the fact that I like the heroes to win, is the fact that, yes, as much as Chopper is fighting Queen, this chapter makes it perfectly obvious that he cannot win. And that is strangely the only thing that I like about this chapter. Because, I mean, yes, I know what I've said. I want the villains to lose, but I want them to lose against someone who's supposed to defeat them. And Chopper is not that person. He is not on a level of a commander. It also turns out that they're being distracted by the Perospero, who is now firing candy rains. Ah, Nekomamushi, just get there already! So you can stop him. Even Queen is just taunting Chopper of the fact that he is getting out of breath. And the fact that we do learn that the reason why Chopper is in the Monster Point longer now is apparently when Caesar was captured, It seems he and Caesar had quite an argument about his rumble ball, and Caesar offered in order to find a way to strengthen the time for free to 10, saying that apparently his formula was way better. At this point, you should really just show it to Queen. But the fact is that he could even increase the minutes more if he wanted to, or something like 30 minutes or more. I'm not really sure if he has increased to 10 or just to 30 more. But it did say there will be risks involved. And granted, we have seen him in his monster point form, so whatever those risks are. Also, Queen's laser beam attack is called Black Coffee. Why it's called that, I have no idea. And then finally, Bai Huang actually informs everyone about Luffy's defeat. Ah, it is so annoying that Luffy had to be defeated like this. What makes it good is the fact that none of the Straw Hats genuinely believe, but they don't seem to be full of despair. They just seem to be angry at the fact that everyone seems to assume that they are defeated. Also, for some reason, Who is fighting Jinbei in human form now. Ah, come on! You cannot be that powerful! And of course, Bai Huang is saying to everybody, and you cannot fight this thing, this is a hopeless war, blah, 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 so just surrender. And we all know the Straw Hats, even though Kito is just saying, like, I care about them more, and even his Big Mom is taunting everyone else. And even though Tama is crying, it is Zoro and Sanji, the only two who actually says that, screw that. Yes, that is actually very encouraging, that despite all the odds, and despite the fact that he did fall into the sea, the Straw Hat Pirates have all but a complete faith in Luffy. And that is what I like, because that is a faith rewarded. I mean, they do not show faces of despair. Granted, maybe Chopper and Nami does, but they are the cowardly duo. They only seem to show anger and scolding and something like, with a line for me that almost seems to tell, are you trying what is that word, a face that is trying to say something like along the line of, you think that will scare us? Or maybe something more like, you really don't know anything, do you? More like the fact that they don't believe this. And they shouldn't. Luffy is a freaking main character! He's not supposed to be defeated. And at least not knocked out. But the problem is he fell into the ocean. So the biggest question is now, who will save him? There has been some implications saying that some remnants of the Heart Pirates did get aboard Onigashima in the submarine. So maybe, just maybe, they are the ones that's going to save Luffy. I mean, I don't think a Sea King will save him. And I don't think the Sun Pirates will save him because they're not there. So, yeah, if the Heart Pirates want to prove themselves useful, they are the only ones that can actually save him now. But then we get to another annoying part of it all, is the fact that Kanjuro appears, still disguising himself as Oden, and even everyone falls for that. But even though Kiku tries to come here, try to strike down Kanjuro, even though that she is full of the tears, in the end, the Oden just says the word, you can't fight me because I took you in, which again stalls her blade as Kanjuro gives her a fatal wound. It is also pointed out in this chapter that the wound that Kiku gave Kanjuro was also fatal, meaning that he was actually dying all along. As Kiku falls to the floor, now likely mortally wounded, Kinemon, in the biggest amount of rage and tears, cuts down Kanjuro in one single slash, which is in all pretty satisfying, and which also seems to implication that this is the final movement of it all. But Kinemon is not happy about this. I mean, he is full of rage, but he's also full of tears. And so Kanjiro ends his laugh long stage, which is actually something along the line of this chapter, because we can assume that now he is finally killed. Although, to be fair, I actually wanted a Yuri to happen. Slash him down and then give him a pity face. And not slashing him down with hatred, but just with pity, so that in the end, the actor will break down. But the funny thing is here is that even though he is happy that he's cut down, because after all, he's just that mentally unstable, he's also saying that it's perfect that Kinemon is the one who's killing him, because on the stage, they were the best of friends, confirming that when Kanjiro was the vessel, he saw Kinemon as his best friend, or at least on the stage, and Kinemon saw Kanjiro as the best friend. The funny thing is that it's very briefly, and it may very well not be true, but as Kanjiro falls and says, although I was performing on stage, you were my best friend, implying again that their friendship was false. It is worth noting that when he says that, tears are in his eyes. Yes, he's a heartless prick, and many things more, but those tears seems to be the one and only time the actor actually in the end broke a facade of more hurt than just mentally unstable. Yes, he broke his role of the vessel, so he's mentally unstable. But the fact he almost says that seems to implication that even though it was an act, he may very well one day have actually seen Kinemon as his best friend, even if it was an act. Because in the end, Kanjiro was just that much of a twisted actor, method actor at all. And then things get some bad to worse as Kaido appears. As Kinemon says to Shinobu to take Momonosuke away, Kaido does a conqueror's attack that Kinemon tries to block. And the thing is that we do not see him block it. It almost seems to imply that Kaido just smashed Kinemon's head in. And there's always been the implications that Kinemon is one of those vessels that will die. Now Kiku likely got a fatal wound as well. She even said that the dawn will happen on the lingering slow. Ashira Doji is also gone, and now Kanjiro is also gone. So are we to say that 4 vessels of Oden just died? Is that the tragedy of Act 3? Oh, well, granted. In the end, though, the chapter ends with even more despair, as Onigashima now, at long last, reaches the mainland of Wano. Although we do see the factories in the distance, so I'm just saying, please, Oda, please, I beg you, do not let Onigashima end up in the capital. If it falls down there, then there will honestly not be any ounce of hope left. The fact that they're flying over the factories, that is the one good thing. If Onigashima should fall, let it fall here. It will be a great symbolism. Onigashima smashes the factories of Wano. It will be the perfect symbolism of giving birth to hope again. But that is not going to happen because despair, 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 and even more despair just keeps on happening. And honestly, it makes me want to throw up. It is annoying. Beyond annoying. I cannot like this chapter, and I don't understand why other people do. Maybe because I'm just weird, maybe I'm just that toxic, or maybe it's just that I don't like this kind of dark storytelling. Well, I like dark storytelling. I just don't like it when it always happens. So yeah, that's basically this chapter. So many vessels fatally wounded or very likely dead. And so yeah, if this is going to be a tragedy, then let this be the tragedy. And let Kanjiro be dead now. I would have wanted him to die in another way, but fine, let him just kill off. He was annoying anyway. So now what? Who will rescue Luffy? And just please let him get there fast. This must be the last time Kaido wins. Please, I beg you, please. Do not let Kaido win anymore. Because the thing is that everyone is saying that the raid will fail. I don't like that. If the raid fails, then you can forget me ever reviewing the manga ever again. Because I'm still just asking you, if it fails, then what? No, seriously, If it fails, then what? How will they bounce back? If they fail, they die. If they fail, they get enslaved. If they fail, they will have morally broken, and this arc will be even longer than it already is. So please, just give me an answer. If the arc fails, then how will they bounce back? If it fails, they will bounce back a la Deus Ex Machina. It will be the worst way ever. The best way for this arc to finish is if the raid do not fail. It will be the biggest hope of all. And Oda is toying with our emotions now, as he always do. So give me your thoughts if you have any.